Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai, by Shem Catholic. Want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. It's your brother Shamar Nayah out of the branch of GMS Indiana camp. And I'm just here again today to give another lesson. And I'm basically going to the 3 days of darkness, which you know that there is a false Roman Catholic doctrine, you know. And see, you have these Catholics and these Christians, you know, making up things such as things like rapture, the rapture doctrine, you know, and they don't have the full understanding, the full and true wisdom and knowledge and understanding of the scriptures, you know. So I want to play this video and I'm gonna break this down and get into get some scriptures and debunk what they're talking about. So without further ado,
approach the door if it's getting knocked on.
Give it all glory unto God. I hope you guys are having a great day. Go back and watch the whole video, but I'm going to tell you guys something to confirm what he just said. I remember having a dream, I think last month. And in this dream, you know, me and my wife was in this exact same apartment that we was in. And, you know, we both was in our rooms. We was getting dressed. We was getting ready to go somewhere. And I heard a knock at the door. So I go to the door. And for some reason, I just assumed that it was one of my brothers at the door. And I'm like, why is my brother at the door so late? So I opened the door, you know, I let him in. And again, that feeling of familiarness that he's talking about, that's how it felt. Like I just knew, you know, this was my brother. So I let him in the house, you know, and I go back to the room to continue to do what I was doing, which was getting dressed and things like that. And then, you know, I want to say a few seconds later, I walked back into the living room because my brother, you know, he had laid down on the couch that was in the living room. So I walked back in there, you know, a few seconds later, and he's gone. The door didn't open, but he's gone. I don't know where he's at. And I immediately remember the video that I saw on YouTube about the Nephilims and how they're going to be able to, you know, shapeshift and things like that to try.
See, and right there, that's red flag number one with these Christians. Because he just mentioned Nephilims and he doesn't even know the true meaning of what that is, what that's even talking about. These Christians, they under that false delusion that, you know, that angels came down and had sex with women and made these giants. But that's not you know, that's not in the scriptures. That's not biblical, you know. They don't have that proper, again, the red flag number one, they don't have that proper wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures. They don't know what they're talking about. Well, let's go and continue with the video.
To gain access to your home during this time of darkness. And so immediately, like, adrenaline just started rushing through me, and I stormed straight into our room. I closed the door. I literally put my back up against the door, and I heard the voice of this demon. And when I say the evil from this voice, you can compare it to nothing that you've ever heard in this world. And he laughed, and he was like, "You're not going to be able to get away from me." And the adrenaline just pumping. And so, you know, he started trying to beat down the door. And immediately, you know, I began to pray. And then, you know, as I'm praying in the spirit, you know, his hand, you know, busts through the door. And it is very large. The hand is very large. His hand busts through the door, and it's literally darker than black itself. It was darker than the darkness that was in the house at that time. And, you know, he started reaching out, you know, for my wife. And the parts of the door where I was, he couldn't break through. He was only able to break the part that my body wasn't up against. And so I was telling my wife, pray. But she was like, you know, struck with fear, and she was just paralyzed. And I remember waking up from the dream. And so I'm telling you guys that God was showing me exactly what it's going to be like during this 3 days of darkness and the dangers that's going to be outside. And I'm telling y'all, no matter who y'all hear at that door, do not answer or open that door. You guys be blessed.
Don't.
Yeah, see, he is going off. Y'all bugged out. See, and then you even have a comment right here saying, so the people are saying this is a Catholic prophecy and it's not true. You see? So I mean, and then he goes on to say this, meaning again, these Christians, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't have the true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that's coming from the Wakakwa to understand these breakdowns. So I'm first precept I'm gonna start out with is Proverbs 14:15, and it reads, "The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going." Meaning, again, a simple man is going to believe everything that they are told, but a prudent man, a wise man, will, research the scriptures. You see, precept I can bring out to so I can back this up. Acts 17:10. And it reads, "And the brethren immediately sent Paul away and Silas by night unto Berea, who coming thither with into the synagogue of the Jews, they were more noble than those of Thessalonica, and that they received the word with all readiness of mind, and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so." You see? So the Berea Jews, they searched the scriptures to see if what Paul says was true. But again, these Christians, they don't open the Bible. As you see, as I pointed out or they don't open the Bible, or go into the strong concordance or the root of these words to understand what is actually being talked about. Again, as I pointed out earlier in the video, that this man still believes in Nephilim. The angels that came down from heaven and had sex with women and made giants. You see, so again, they don't know what they're talking about, and it's also this another precept that comes to mind is Isaiah 8:20. To the law and to the testimony. This is Isaiah 8:20. And it reads, "To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them." You see? So again, these Christians don't know what the hell they're talking about. They just love adding to the word. So I'm look this up real quick. See if I can find it. I believe it's in Wikipedia. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. I'm gonna just read the first little paragraph, and then this is what they have as under what it means. In Roman Catholicism, the 3 days of darkness is a concept believed that by some Catholics to be a true prophecy of future events. The prophecy foretells 3 days and nights of intense darkness over the whole earth, against which the only light will come from blessed beeswax candles, and during which all the enemies of the church will perish. And that 3 days of darkness, which what we just read, that comes from a private revelation. You see, I'm trying to see if I can find where it quotes that. I believe it. Bear with me 1 second. Trying to find it. But basically, it says in this one, she can Annie Marie Taigi. She said that this was a private revelation that was so called given to her. But as we know, a private revelation is going off by saying this, because and let's go ahead and go back to the scriptures and get it to see what it says. 2 Peter 1:20. And this is 2 Peter 1:20, and it reads, "Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. You see? So again, no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. Meaning that whoever, the woman who created this so-called event, it's false. It's going off. Going back to Proverbs 3, verse 5. And it reads, Proverbs 3 and 5, and it reads, trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. You see? So we are not supposed to be to lean into our own understanding, but to trust Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Again, bringing up that Isaiah 8 and 20, along with John, 1 John 4 and 1. So let's get into what they believe, what they believe to happen. I'll go to Revelation 6 and go to 12. This is the title, The Sixth Seal Terror, and this is Revelation 6 and 12, and it reads, and I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Slakia. And that earthquake being talked about is those ICBM missiles, during World War III. When the missiles hit and that mushroom cloud comes up, that's the darkness. The darkness. That's the darkness that's being talked about. That darkness of the cloud, which will cause the sky to go dark, and a blood moon from all the smoke. Verse 13, and it reads, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And that's just, again, that stars, when it says stars of heaven fell unto the earth, I mean it is from all the Slakia is them ICBM missiles. That's what that's being talked about. You see? And that mighty wind is likened unto the blast. The blast radius from the missiles, and a precept I can bring out to prove that. I'm going to be open. It's Jeremiah 51. Slakia. This is Jeremiah 51 and 1, and it reads, thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. You see that's that that blast from the from the ICBM missiles. That's what that destroying wind is being talked about. You see. So going back, verse 14, and it reads, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. Again, that mushroom cloud is likened unto that scroll, and then every mountain and island were moved out of their places. This is being talked about, because America will be utterly destroyed. Mountains represents governments, like to the top governments, and then you have little governments, which you can get that Isaiah, let me get that as well. Isaiah 25, it's lucky, 25 and 7. This is Isaiah 25 and 7, and it reads, and I will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all the people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. So again, that mountain being talked about is the governments, particularly Esau Edom's a government and ruling places. You see, that's what is being talked about when it's mentioned in the mountains. Well, let me also expound upon that, because again, going back to Isaiah 25:7, again, this is talking about Esau Edom, because they sit at the top again, at the summit. They again, they're at the top nation right now in this current kingdom. Verse 15, and it reads, "And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains." And this is going into, they aren't hiding because of the darkness. That's not why they're hiding, but they are hiding because of the destruction that is to come. Which is why they're making bunkers right now. You see, but again, Scripture says that the bunkers that they're making is going to be obsolete, because again, Jeremiah 16:16, when we get them new bodies, we gonna grab them niggas out the bunkers, bro. You see. So next precept I'm gonna go to is Revelation 16:10. And it reads, "And the angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom were full, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain." And that this beast is being talked about is no other than NATO and EU. And that darkness, that means that Esau Edom will be blinded to what Yahweh Bashem Yahushua will do to them. And they will lose all their wisdom they thought they had, and will be in confusion and darkness upon Esau's kingdom. And then you got to ask the question, because the last sentence, when it says they gnawed their tongues for pain, when you go to Matthew 22. I'm gonna start at verse 8, and then it reads, "And then saith he to his servants, The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. So those servants went out into the highways, and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there was a man which had not a wedding garment. And he saith unto him, Friend, how comest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. And a wedding garment represents, this is talking about the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This is a parable being spoken right now. Verse 13. Then saith the king to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. You see? This is talking about the destruction to come to America and Esau's kingdom. Again, referring back to them ICBM missiles. Next precept I'm going to bring out is going to Isaiah. Slovakia. I can't type today for some reason. Isaiah 6. It'll start at verse 8. This is Isaiah 6 and 8, and it reads, Also I heard the voice of the Lord Yahweh saying, Whom shall I send, and whom will go for us? Then said I, Here I am, send me. Verse 9. And he said, Go and tell this people, Hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. And I brought this out because, the people had a stumbling block on them, They don't understand. Continuing on. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. Verse 11. Then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitants, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate. And again, this is talking about that thermal nuclear destruction to come, you see. So this private interpretation comes from this woman named Anna Marie. She says again that there will be no man-made light will be impossible to use during the darkness, except blessed by the candlesticks, the candles, which again is false, because when you go to Matthew, Matthew 5:16, and it reads, "Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glory your Father which is in heaven." And this is talking about that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding you have gotten from being in this truth. You see, that's the light that's being talked about. She doesn't again that false doctrine that Esau Edom had made from that Catholic Church. Proverbs 6:23, and it reads, this is Proverbs 6:23, and it reads, "For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs and instruction are the way of life." You see, the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. Another precept I can bring out, Isaiah 13:12. And it reads, "I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than a golden wedge of Ophir." You see, this is talking about no other but than the elect man. They will be the elect man, and in that time of Jacob's trouble, they're going to be that light. And again, going back to the person who came up with this doctrine, the 3 days of doctrine, with Anna, she also states that anyone who open a window or leaves the home will die on the spot, which again is another false statement. Because when you go to Second Esdras 16, I think this is it. So yeah, Second Esdras 16. 16 verse 40. Start at verse 40. This is Second Esdras chapter 16, verse 40, and it reads, "O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be as pilgrims upon the earth." You see? Being as a pilgrim, meaning that you are a stranger to the land. You're a traveler. Traveling into one holy destination to another. This is likened to the Israelites. Verse 41: "He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise, as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein." You will not, basically meaning that you will not stay in the place that you built. You see, verse 43: "He that soweth, as if he should not reap, so also he that planteth a vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry, as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not, as the widowers." Basically meaning, so like when everything goes down, You're not gonna have time to be doing these things. You see, during Jacob's trouble. Verse 35, and it reads, and therefore they that labor in vain. You see, so everything that we are working for will ultimately again be in vain during that time of Jacob's trouble. That it's not gonna matter. Verse 46, and it reads, for the stranger shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. Again, people will be breaking into other homes, and taking children. Again, this couple scriptures that comes to mind, the love of many shall wax cold. Basically, again, I have multiple lessons on it. When the time of Jacob's troubles come, and shit really hits the fan, everybody's going to have that strongest survival of the fittest. Yeah, and I think that's it on that. I keep going down. I'm gonna jump down to 70, and it reads, for there shall be in every place and next in the cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. And again, all the hopeful elect of the Israelites, there will be an insurrection upon us. Verse 71, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You see, so Esau's military and others, they will be spoiling, our goods, Verse 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. That's pretty self-explanatory. Verse 73, and then it reads, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. And this is will be the testing of trials and the tribulations. You see, verse 74, and it reads, hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for power is your guide. And again, Yahweh Shem Yahushua will be our guide during that time, which is why when you get again, another precept that comes to mind is when you go to 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. So again, 10 and 13, it tells you. This is 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, and it reads, there hath no temptation taken you, but such as in common to man. But Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. You see? So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua will make a way for us to escape, temptation, that our temptation. It will, you see? She also, said to remain in our homes, but the scripture says, again, as I brought out in 2nd Esdras 16 and 40, to be as as pilgrims. Let me see if I can go back into there, because there was another one. It was right here. It says Marie Julie expanded upon the story of the 3 days of darkness. According to Jeheni, it would occur on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. All of hell would be let loose to strike at those outside their homes, and those without lit blessed candles of pure wax. The candles would miraculously stay aflame the entire period, but not light at all in the house of the godless. So, and then again, they're adding on to the scriptures, because she's again states that the 3 days of darkness will be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But again, the scriptures clearly tells you that no one will know that day but Yahweh. You see, let's bring these precepts out to back up what I'm saying. Isaiah. I spelled that wrong all the way. Isaiah 65, verse 13 and 14. Isaiah 65, 13, and it reads, Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Verse 14, Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. You see? So again, the elect will be covered by Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. You see? But the 2/3, they're going to perish on the side, And that's what's to come. So again, when you hear this fable of 3 days of darkness from the Roman Catholic Church, most unlearned jakes again will believe this false doctrine, as this guy in this video does. Not him. Well, him too as well.
Approach the
him. This guy right here, he believes in this doctrine, and he believes that he knows what he's talking about. But again, he does not. You see. Precept I'm going to bring out about that is Romans 10 and 2. And it reads, for Romans 10 and 2, For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. You see, some people will have the zeal of Yahweh, but not according to knowledge. They don't have this true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, Make sure I covered all bases. Yeah, so again, the darkness that was being mentioned in Revelation 16, it's not talking about what the Roman Catholic Church is trying to preach, but it's talking about Esau Edom not having that wisdom. Again, going back to Jeremiah 49 and 7, and also the nations again will turn on them. That's what's going into. Get this last precept real quick. Isaiah 47 verses 12 and 13. And it reads, Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorcerers, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. Thou art weary in the multitude of the councils. Let now the astrologers and the stargazers and the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon you. You see, and I bring this scripture out because again, Esau Edom is using these things to get an understanding on what his next move should be to establish his new world order. And Esau Edom is wary, because again, he knows that he has a short time. This is why he's doing the shit that he's trying to do. Because he knows he has a short time. Going back to that Revelation 12. So I think the point has been made. So yeah, that's that Catholic doctrine that's going around about the 3 days of darkness. They don't know what they're talking about. I'm not just broken down. So with that, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, B'Shem Makakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Until the next time, Shalom.